Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday morning. Look at me. You know why I'm on here right now? Because it's very early on a Sunday, and I figured today might be the good time because probably not a lot of people are on Rumble right now or Twitter or whatever. And I thought maybe it's a good time, random, I know. And maybe there might be like 0 people really awake, which might be a good thing because I'm trying something totally different. And it's kind of cool. Does it let you see your viewer count? Oh, yeah, it does. Interesting. So this is the first time I've done a Rumble stream, but here I am. Exciting. And I've been wanting to watch this thing about Gina Carano because, you know, your girl loves a canceled crew. Anybody that's been canceled is being canceled. Let's talk about it. But Gina Carano, fun fact, actually follows me on Twitter, I think. And she was friends with my dear friend, rest in peace, who lived in Vegas. I don't know if she lived in Vegas. But anyway, you know, I don't know how we got connected, but yeah, she's suing Disney. I guess Elon Musk is backing her, and let's watch. So I'm not able to do like my cool normal 2-screen dealio with this theme. I guess I could have done it on StreamYard, but I didn't know how to do it. So, you know, we're gonna have to do this way. But I'm gonna share my screen. Let's go presentation. All right, here we go. Let's check this out.
Life is long and weird, and the longer it is, the weirder it gets. You may have noticed that. But even by that unchanging standard, Gina Carano has had a pretty remarkable life packed into a relatively short amount of time. So in 2006, she began as a professional mixed martial arts fighter. Within a few years, she was starring in big Hollywood films like Fast and Furious. Then in 2019, not that long ago, she got one of the biggest roles of her career. She was on a Disney show called The Mandalorian. In case you didn't see it, here she is.
Stay back, dropper. Easy.
Drop your weapon.
You're going to wish you never left Alderaan. I saw your planet destroyed. I was on the Death Star.
Which one?
You think you're funny? Do you know how many millions were killed on those bases?
Drop your blaster.
As the galaxy cheered,
Last chance.
destroying your planet was a small price to pay to rid the galaxy of terrorism.
So back in 2019, when you worked at Disney, the Disney Corporation, you could expect a long and pretty stable career. It's a huge company, lots of things you could keep doing there at a pretty good salary. And the only cost would be you have to follow the rules. Disney at the time was getting increasingly political, and the people who worked there were expected to go along with it. So don't say anything and you'll be absolutely fine. But for some reason, she could not follow that rule. And so she went on Twitter and pushed back on some of the things that Disney was pushing. She questioned the motives of Black Lives Matter. If it's so great, why isn't it helping Black people? She asked about the 2020 election. Was it really fair?
So that's funny that you guys are still here. Well, this is like my test stream, by the way. I've been having so many technical difficulties tonight. I had Lanny Sarum, who she famously got taken off the New York Times bestseller list. But hang on a sec. Let me fix this. Her whole thing had to do with Black Lives Matter too. Darn it, this is really annoying. Well, I can't hear myself. Can you guys hear me? Hopefully you can hear me. Well, I don't know. I can't really tell. All right, let's play the tape and I'll see if I can hear.
Fair. And then she suggested that maybe vax mandates were not a good idea. So what do you think happened? Well, Disney fired her. What happened next to Gina Carano? It's an even more interesting story than the first part of her life. And so we're honored to have her join us on set now. Gina, thanks so much.
Thank you, Tucker. It's so good to see you.
It's great to see you. So last we spoke, and I don't know because both of our lives have taken lots of turns since then.
Yes.
I can't remember how long it's been. But you were just kind of emerging from the chaos of getting fired for things that in a normal country would not cause you to be fired. Like refusing to put in a pretty funny way your email, and they fired you.
Hey, Raylan.
So
hey, can you hear me? Because
what happened? Like, what are the twists that your life has taken since? Because I think it tells us a lot.
Well, we went to the Daily Wire after the cancellation.
Daily Wire in Nashville.
Yes, and
why'd you go there? What was your expectation?
Because Ben Shapiro had given me the opportunity to, kind of try to uncancel me and say, hey, we'll do a movie with you. Come on out and let's just do a movie and try to get, you uncanceled.
Yes.
And so I went out to Nashville thinking that we were going to shoot a movie there. We didn't shoot it there. We ended up shooting up in Montana.
Something weird is going on here. Let me see. You can hear me, but let's see. We got to be able to see the presentation. Oh, no. All right, let's try this again. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, let me start over. Sorry.
What happened? Well, Disney fired her. What happened next to Gina Carano? It's an even more interesting story than the first part of her. And so we're honored to have her join us on set now. Gina, thanks so much.
Thank you, Tucker. It's so good to see you.
It's great to see you. So last we spoke, and I don't know, both of our lives have taken lots of turns since then.
Yes.
I can't remember how long it's been. But you were just kind of emerging from the chaos of getting fired for things that in a normal country would not cause you to be fired. Like refusing to put in a pretty funny way your pronouns in your email, and they fired you. So what happened now? Like, what are the twists that your life has taken since? Because I think it tells us a lot.
Well, we went to the Daily Wire
by the way,
after the cancellation.
Oh, you found it?
Daily Wire in Nashville.
Was it hard to find or no?
And why'd you go there? What was your expectation?
Because had given me the opportunity to, kind of try to uncancel me and say, hey, we'll do a movie with you. Come on out and let's just do a movie and try to get you uncanceled.
Yes.
So I went out to Nashville thinking that we were going to shoot a movie there. We didn't shoot it there. We ended up shooting up in Montana.
Say that I'm live on Twitter.
What a great town that is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love Montana.
Yeah.
And so we shot this $2 million Western movie during the time where SAG-AFTRA was starting to mandate the vaccines and COVID tests and masks. And, I just said to the Daily Wire gave me the option, we can either do a union movie or we can do a non-union movie.
What would be the difference?
The difference would be, we would have to basically hire more vaccinated people on the union movie just in case they did mandate it, which they ended up mandating it, which is obviously everything I was standing against. And so that wasn't an option for me.
But it was an option for the Daily Wire.
It was one of their options.
Yes.
Yeah. And so then their second option was, well, for half the money. So we went from $4 million, exciting serial killer movie to a $2 million non-union movie where that would have given, so many more people that were struggling at the time for not taking the vax, for not wanting to apply by the COVID restrictions. And so the Daily Wire did put that on my shoulders and said, this is your decision. This is your movie. And I chose to go up and shoot the $2 million Western, which was called Terror on the Prairie.
So half the budget, but you felt that it was important as a matter of principle not to participate in a vax mandate.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do that. I mean, Disney didn't. I didn't cave to Disney. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to Nashville and be like, okay. I was so grateful, by the way, for the opportunity that they offered me. But it just, when I got there, it was just two different options that I thought, I didn't think that that was what I was showing up to. But they did, they were like, okay, then let's go up and let's make this Western for $2 million. It made it definitely a lot more difficult. It's kind of funny online.
Did anybody ever hear about this? I mean, obviously, I remember hearing that she was going to the Daily Wire, but then I just remember like not hearing anything. And probably it's because, YouTube, movies just take so long to make. Let me actually see if, oh, there we go. I can put the people on here. You see that? That's kind of cool. You can see the chat on the screen. Can you guys see the chat? Let's see. I'm like blind right now. It's so late where I'm at. All right, let's see. I don't know if I like this YouTube or the Rumble Studio just because I'm used to StreamYard, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I do like how you can see the only person in here is Raylan. What up, Raylan? Actually, there's 5 people in here. That's pretty cool. There's some people on from YouTube. So, oh, thanks for the $5. See, I'm not even like, how do I even pull that up? Let me just see how I pull that up. Raylan, you said you're past your budget for the year. Just kidding. Okay, I see the live chat. Thank you. Let's see, how do I pin? Oh, that's kind of cool. Amazon is lame. Welcome to Rome. Thank you. Yeah, you know what? Everybody that chipped in for like just reposting that whole thing. If you don't know, I got terminated from Amazon along with, by the way, I made this. This was available on Amazon. They're probably still selling it. It's my design. It says physically here, mentally, I'm naked on a yacht on the south of France. But don't go buy it because we're waiting to see if my appeal went through. I don't know if it was because of Nala situation or what, but yeah, that was really lame. Hang on a sec. I don't know why. I can't hear myself, and I like to hear myself. Hello. That is so bizarre. It's just like, oh, there we go. Now I can hear myself. That was weird. Okay, well, here we are. We're back. We're back in business, baby. All right. Yeah, thank you for the $5, Raylan. That was very, very nice of you. I like how I can pin the comments, and you can see the comments here on the side. This is my first time on here, so we're just trying it out. But Raylan, you should get on here too, because I think you only have to have like 8 followers or something like that. But okay, let's keep watching. So I don't even know the update. I just know that I remember when she was canceled. I don't know what happened after the Daily Wire thing. So this will be interesting.
Line and on IMDb, they say we shot it for $75 million, and they're trying to like write up all these reports that it went into theater and it only made $800. And I'm like, no, it actually was just streamed on the Daily Wire. We made it for about $2 million that I know of, and it could have been less than that. And it was never in theater. And you've got like all of the Hollywood, press, like, look at, and it's even not, I believe it's still on IMDb listed as $75 million just to kind of like do these awful things to people like
of course
me and the Daily Wire and like people like you. It's like, let's just put as much false information that leads people astray. But it ended up being a really good film.
It was 75 million, like as a joke?
I think there could have been, adjustments made that made it better, but I love the performances in it. I love the people that made it. Dallas
Anybody else?
Sonier
Yeah.
is a wonderful producer. I loved working with him. And so I had a really good time.
So what'd you
No, I wouldn't go on the whatever podcast. Not my vibes.
do after that?
I disappeared. I think, I knew that after getting canceled and fired, I knew that like even during that Daily Wire kind of Terror on the Prairie stint, I was wounded like a broken animal. And I'm not sure if you experienced the same thing after what happened with you and Fox, but
he's like, no, because I blew up after that.
I think everybody handles it maybe differently. Like to me, it looks like you jumped straight back in and you were like, hustling. I have maybe a different energy where it's like, I got wounded, I got stabbed.
Yes.
I'm
very shallow, so it's easy to recover.
No, stop.
I love, okay. Tucker has the best freaking, he's like, he's like, they're just like the best evil laugh. Like, no, by the time it dropped, I had already got canceled my Daily Wire membership. Okay, interesting. Yeah, it's bare bones, but it's all right. But I do like how it shows up like right there. Maybe when we start getting more people, it'll be kind of fun.
I think you're just, like a certain type of brain that, you go forward, right?
Yeah, have to.
And mine was.
I keep forgetting to like add the stream back. My bad.
With you and Fox, but
wait, where's his laugh?
I knew that like even during that Daily Wire kind of Terror on the Prairie stint, I was wounded like a broken animal. And I'm not sure if you experienced the same thing after what happened with you and Fox, but I think everybody handles it maybe differently. Like to me, it looks like you jumped straight back in and you were like, hustling. I have maybe a different energy where it's like, I got wounded, I got stabbed.
Yes. I'm very shallow, so it's easy to recover.
No, stop. I think you're just, like a certain type of brain that, you go forward, right?
Yeah, have to.
And mine was, I've not been like that. Like when I've been wounded in relationships or in life, like, I get hurt. I'm sensitive. So for 2 years, I've been.
Well, y'all know that I am sensitive. I literally like broke down crying on Twitter stream. And I was like, am I going to get totally blasted for this? But I mean, I think everybody saw that I wasn't like faking it, cry bully. I literally went on stream. I had no makeup on, nothing. And I'm just like, this is raw and real. And you know why? It's because I feel like there's not enough rawness and realness on the internet anymore. And I feel like people are just like, can we just be real? Like, can we just have real interactions? I think it's, I don't know. I think it's important to have real interactions sometimes. But anyway, here we go. I always forget to put it back on the stream.
In this, kind of desert, kind of, like wondering, like, oh God, I see justice happening and I see people moving forward and I'm not moving forward. Like I thought I was going to, and like I had, said I was going to try to, and I felt very, just forgotten. And then,
so when you were fired from Disney for,
I feel that. I
that
understand
no person should ever be fired.
Because you do, you feel forgotten.
Mandate or not putting your totally insane pronouns in an email. Did you consider suing them then?
Yes. Yeah. I actually confronted my family lawyer and we talked about it. And I was like, if this isn't defamation or if this isn't discrimination, then I don't know what is. If this isn't wrongful doing of an employee, then I don't know what is.
So it's my fault for not telling your story more completely for those who don't know it. It's not simply that they fired you.
Right.
It's that they defamed you.
And harassed and discriminated and just put me through the struggle session, which I didn't know. When you're going through it, you don't know that, you're like, I was so naive at 2020. I haven't been living in the political realm at all.
Yes.
I just pay my taxes and, hustle for that next job, that next
Same.
action job,
That's
or the
how
next drama job.
I got
And,
canceled
that's
in
just what I've been trying to
2022.
do for my entire life, besides my fighting career.
Yeah.
And so then it was just like when 2020 hit, it's like the shades got opened, and I started actually like looking around thinking, wait a second, what's happening here? Like, why are people allowed to riot on the streets and they're not allowed to go to church? And why are big businesses staying open and small businesses are getting shut down? And
Yep.
it was just it bothered me. It's like people
What she's saying
forcing
makes sense to
masks
me.
on each other, and intrinsically knew lockdowns are going to be devastating to people. This is, coming from a person who has, been on and off work. I know what it's like to not work for a year and then to work for 3 years and not to work. And when you take away that consistency, it does such an emotional, mental, spiritual thing on you that, some people don't know how to handle. They start drugs, alcohol, addiction, and that's exactly what we've seen. We've seen all of this addiction and all this problem, deaths, and I've lost 2 friends to overdoses, one to turbo cancer. I've lost so many people in the last.
I think she's talking about our mutual friend. Yep, he died of, I don't know, it might have been fentanyl poisoning. I'm not sure.
6 years or the last 4 years, that it's just like mind blowing, which is just a whole another subject. But it does make me feel like I stood up for the right thing. I'm not sorry I did. It hasn't made things easy,
right?
But yeah, I was so I did try to go and talk to a lawyer.
And what was the lawyer's response, and what was your thinking about it at the time?
Like I had to get out of LA because my life was not safe there.
Same.
At least where I was at. And it's pretty.
I had to get out of LA too. Oh my gosh, I hated. I don't. Oh, LA, especially after the pandemic. Oh my god, it was so woke. So like, if you didn't have a mask on in an Uber, you're like getting dinged down. You're like getting downvoted in the system. It was bad. Turbo cancer. I'm not sure what she meant that.
Expensive to live in LA, and so it's either like moving to keep in LA, or try to move to maybe Nashville and see if that the Daily Wire thing works out. Well, that didn't really pan out, which like there's no bad blood there. It's just it's not where it's not where God wanted me, I don't think.
Yes.
And so then I just kept, and I ended up in Montana.
How did you wind up in Montana?
We ended up shooting Terror on the Prairie there.
I heard Montana is awesome.
I just being outside and looking at the sky and being able to breathe and not feeling that anxiety of a city or the possible riots coming down the streets.
I heard Montana's a
just there's an interesting thing I feel like in Montana. People mind their business basically.
Yes.
And keep to themselves. And I feel like in Montana you have to work in your land. You have to have a certain toughness during the winter. And I think that's really cool. So, Montana is not a place where weak people go to live. And I like to be surrounded by that energy.
By strong people.
Yeah. And so when me and my lawyer were talking about it, my family lawyer, he's such a wonderful man. He was like, Gina, I think it's important that you get somewhere safe and take care of that first. And so I did. And relocating your life, as I'm sure you've been through plenty of times in your life, is, it's not like an easy thing. Changing a job, changing of a life perspective, and then having to completely uproot and move your life and figure out where you belong. All of that has been going on in the last 2 years, and a lot of positive things too.
What up?
I look at,
you got followers, you want
relationships and friendships and future different. I could have ended up in New York and single at some point, and now I really value a partnership and I really value a future with someone. And it's just like maybe that's just called maturity, but I was a really late in maturity part. My little sister is my little sister is a lot more mature than me, and she's got 3 kids, and she's like, any day, Gina, any day. I'm like, well, I don't know about the kids part, but
Did your spiritual perspective change?
She's like so chill vibes. Like she's giving me like, I don't know. I like her vibes. She's just very, I don't know, kind of like, I don't know what the word is, but just very chill vibes. I'm vibing with it. Sick to Rumble. Yeah, you know what? So beaten chicks, what do you post? What do you make content about? I'm sorry. I haven't seen your content. I'm a bad friend. Dude, my Rumble took off when I had heavy hitters last year, but my business got me too busy to interview people. Really? What did you used to interview them about? Stick to Rumble. What does this one say? Mons Blanc. I can't really read because it's like a screen's far away. Would you debate Destiny or Hassan? No, I'm not really like a debater. I don't know why. I didn't mean to get into any controversies. All right. I talk about social media influencers. I try to help uncancel people that got canceled. My girl Lanny Sarum was over here. She also lives in Vegas and she got kicked off the New York Times. Actually, after this, we should watch and see like what is the whole New York Times thing. Raw is Law, my channel. Okay. Oh, Raw is Law is my channel. Okay, so you talk about law. All right. Okay. Back to the programming. Just wanted to give some love to the chat.
Oh, I've always been a Christian, but I never felt so much like a Christian as I do these last few years, and it just keeps growing. And I think that's something that makes people cringe, and I've seen that happen. But
Why does it
Because
make
I do
people
not
cringe
speak
when you
about the
say that?
law.
well, I think religion and any type of it's been used so wrongly. It's been used so aggressively and wrongly to persuade people in evil ways that are fake, and it's really turned people off, because usually when people go to God or go to a place of God, they're searching because they're hurt and they're wounded. And when you are hurt and wounded, and then you get hurt and wounded by the person, the people, or a place that you feel is supposed to protect
Yes.
and be the safe place, I think then people just get really.
Whoa. That's like exactly why I spoke up about Nala. Because what happens is if these people turn out to be fake, it hurts Christians. I'm not the only one saying it. I'm saying she's saying it. You get what I'm saying? Okay.
Angry at God. And I don't think that it's God that maybe they're angry at. It's at the experience,
Yes.
And so
the people claiming to represent him.
Yeah. So I really haven't been to church, an actual church, probably in 20 years.
Yeah.
Where's she what?
But
Church on TV?
in the last 3 years, have just grown so much closer and understanding. And so it was actually at that point where I said, I was like, God, all these people are getting justice, and I know I was done so wrong. It was so wrong what happened to me. And I know that there's so much more wrong that happened to so many other people. And so I even felt like, don't be a brat about this, Gina. Like there's, doctors and lawyers and police officers and nurses. And, this is like awful things are happening all around to everybody. And so I started looking at my justice as, starting over in Montana and being able to see the big sky and just being so grateful.
It's just so hard when you're as famous as she was and doing all the cool stuff she was doing. And then it like, not only are you not doing it anymore, but you're like shunned from the industry basically, right? Because the Hollywood is just, it's a small world and you feel like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna have to do something else now. So it just breaks my heart.
For my surroundings. And then finally, it was really interesting when I finally got that out of my heart and truly gave it over to God and was just like, it's yours. If I stay in the desert of work and I never work again in this business, then okay, then I need to learn a different skill. I need to figure out what I'm going to do. And so I had to really let it go. Genuinely let it go. And
Which isn't easy.
And a week later, well, yeah, that
Let
took
go of
years.
acting or what?
I tried to pretend like I was there so many times, but to genuinely let that last inch of like, it's going to be okay. And I'm going to give it to you. And a week later, I got an email. From X. And they said that they were some lawyers that were taking up cases that people had possibly been fired for speaking their opinion.
That's so cool.
On X. And they'd like to hear my case.
So they approached you?
Over email.
Elon Musk's lawyers just found you?
Yeah. I don't even
said, by the way, we'd like to pay for your case?
Yeah. Well, no, it didn't go like that. It was, first of all, I was like, is this a scam?
Yeah, it sounds like a scam.
Right. And I was like, some sort of scam. So I had my lawyers look into them to make sure.
This is cool.
My family lawyer.
You must have felt so
I've never paid
good
a dime
in that
to.
moment,
And he is just, he's actually my brother's or my sister's husband's cousin. And here he is just like taking on like my problems just with a smile. And I was like, do you think you can, Will Lemcole, by the way, I love you, Will.
It's kind of wild because you just assume all these people are super rich, but who knows what her situation was in that time.
He's been such a wonderful person to me. He was just like, these people are legit. These are actually legit lawyers. Get back to them. And so I said, because Will believes in my case. He just knew my personal circumstance was very difficult at the time, and didn't have the money to pay for that.
Yeah.
I needed to put that money into restarting life.
Yes.
And so he's like, call them back. And so, or email them back. And I emailed them back immediately. And I was like, ready. And Edward Trent, who is at the law firm, just an incredible man. He was like, wow. He was like, we've emailed a lot of people and you got it back to us like pretty fast, And then from there on, in the last, I guess
didn't get fired, but
that was before Christmas, and probably in November.
Let's see what happens with Amazon.
We've just been like, I'm sending them everything and I'm telling them my story, and we're having long conversations, and they're listening to everything that happened. And then, I'm sending them emails that transpired between me and Disney and publicists and all the other people, and I'm sending them everything I've got.
Some good press.
And they took that to X and Elon and said, we believe in this case very much so. And they presented it to X, and then X is like, they had to get the permission from them. So I'm sure X has their lawyers looking through it, because it's a completely different law firm.
Yes. Retained by X.
Yes. So I'm sure X has their own people that are looking at it as well. So there's multiple eyes on this. And then they had to take it to Elon and, brief him on it. And then, they came back and they said, we're taking it on. Let's do this. We're going to write a complaint and we're going to file.
I mean, that's just an amazing story.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. Thanks a lot for watching that conversation with Gina Carano, who's a very cool person. You may have noticed that a lot of the e-commerce sites online are run by people who don't share your values.
Oh, I thought it was over.
Can have our lawyers look at it. But what do you, I mean?
And I responded to that, which I didn't think that anything would ever come of it, but he tweeted that out.
What did he say? Okay, I think I qualify. Oh, because Gina had messaged. Oh, like she had actually said it. If you're unfairly treated by your employer due to posting or liking something on this platform, we will fund your legal bill, no limit. Damn. I'll never be able to prove that Amazon took me off for the brigading or whatever happened on Twitter, but it wasn't because I said something like whatever. Who knows? Maybe I made a mistake. I don't know. I just really hope they give me my account back. All right.
And I said, in a quote tweet, I said, well, I think I qualify, or something like that, smiley face. And nothing happened for months. And I was like, okay, well, I didn't expect anything. So, and then when that happened and I got that email, it was like, it's one of those, there's been a couple of those calls in my life, or a couple of those moments in my life that I've just been like, oh my gosh, like I get a chance right now. I get a fighting chance to clear my name, to let the world know what happened here, to, the world's come a lot, a long ways in 3 years. A lot of information's come out.
Yes.
So I mean, you shouldn't get fired for being ahead of the curve. You know what I mean? I shouldn't have gotten fired for, talking about lockdowns and masks and encouraging that. I was encouraging conversation. I shouldn't have gotten fired for my
Yeah.
supposedly controversial tweets. They were not controversial. They were just,
Here's why, though.
they were just having.
It's not just about, okay, so some people people the thousands of people in the chat are talking about, just kidding. Like, why didn't he fund people with less money, la la la. But okay, the people can barely afford food. That's who the focus should be on. Just saying, I'm someone that fights for the smaller guys. Okay, yes, but because Gina has a platform and she was like, it's also about holding Disney accountable. If what she's alleging is true, it's really hard to go after these big companies so that they don't do it to the smaller guy. And so it's like, when you hold them accountable, sure, maybe she's, you're looking at her as someone that already has wealth or whatever, but I don't know how many cases there are of like the little guy. And it sounds like they did reach out to different people, but what this case may have like a real impact where people care about it, and it basically discourages other companies from doing this. So yes, I do think that, I think I hope they went after everybody. I hope they gave everybody that opportunity, but I don't knock her for talking about it because it happened to her, you know what I mean? So
Having trouble with where I was coming from. I think
Oh, get tired.
it's bewildering. Like it's mind blowing what happened.
Do you have any idea why? Even very rich people rarely pay for lawyers for strangers on principle.
Yeah.
Do you know why Elon Musk is doing this?
By the way, I've always wanted to do a series where we talk about the Hulk Hogan case. I don't know if you guys know about it, but it's one of the only cases where a billionaire secretly funded a lawsuit against this company that, what's it called? Oh my gosh, Gawker. So Gawker was a really mean TMZ style, but I think worse than TMZ in the way that they were just super mean, and they outed Peter Thiel for being gay, and he had this like vendetta against them. And so it had happened 10 years before, but he funded Hulk Hogan's case and basically put them out of business, like boss move. And he was like, I'll fund anybody that has a problem with Gawker. And so if you don't know me, I sued the New York Times for defamation, and my lawyers helped me out for sure because I couldn't afford it either, but we didn't get it funded by a big time. I think what happened too is there was interest in getting it funded at one point, but the problem is that people just stopped hating Taylor Lorenz so much. They really did. So they stopped they still hate her, don't get me wrong, but they don't hate her so much that they're like, okay, I'm going to fund this, because she like self-owned herself so bad, so they're just like, she's fine. We already got rid of her in a way. It's fine. It's fine. We did get past motion to dismiss, which was a really big deal, but it is hard. Yeah.
I've never even met him. I've never even spoken to him. I think he's retweeted me once. And he's doing this not only for me in this big case, he's doing this for many other people.
See? That's cool.
I think we're living in a time of such an incredible person that would be fighting for free speech on the biggest level. If we did not have what Elon Musk is doing right now, so many of us would be in such deep trouble. Nations would be in trouble. And I respect.
Gotta get into what's happening in Brazil too.
I don't know why he's doing it. I think that a lot of billionaires put their money into more selfish things, and he's choosing to put his money into the defense of free speech and the defense of injustice. And I have to imagine that had to do something with Mae Musk, his mother, because I follow her too, and I think how heartbreaking it's been for my family to watch me go through this hardship, and I really wonder about the Musk family and what tough skin they must have had. But what an incredibly classy woman that woman is. And I love following her because I see this came from somewhere, you know. And
It's pretty
yeah, I
pretty
just
cool
think
if you
what
don't
an
follow
incredible
Main
family that
Mess.
has burdened such a tough moment in time, that I think that he will go down in history as one of the greats. As will you, Tucker.
Well, I'm not. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm just talking on camera. That's a pretty generous thing to be doing for people you don't know. I mean,
never even spoken to him.
So tell
I
us.
hope I get to thank him one day, like, and shake his hand, and you know, I don't know, like, how you thank someone like this, you know, like, just
I wonder if he retweeted.
thank you, Elon, for fighting this fight for so many of us.
Let's look it up.
It's just, I don't know anybody like this person, and I don't even know this person.
Amazing. So what's the suit like? And it goes without saying that we're fervently rooting for you and for justice in this case, but tell us about the suit.
Well, my lawyers, yeah, they said, you know, keep the lawyer talk to the lawyer talk, right?
Yeah.
So I don't stick myself in any bad situation. So I kind of leave that up to them. It's all in the complaint. They filed the complaint. It's February 6th, and Disney now has a certain amount of time to respond to that complaint.
Yes.
And so, yeah, that's.
But basically, the substance, as I understand it,
Mhm.
you fired unfairly, in violation of the law, and then defamed.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about the defamation. Tell us what they did to you in more specific terms.
Well, there is defamation. I'm not sure. And
if that's a legal claim, I mean,
Yeah.
I should as well as a non-lawyer keep the. But they trashed you.
They did. What they really did was they put out this awful. So I put up a tweet that has become an infamous tweet of saying that, and I don't even know, because I just put it up in like a story section. I didn't post it. I put it in like the, you know, quick, everybody look through like the stories of the tweet, because tweets used to have the fleet section. And it was basically saying that it didn't start like, you know, Nazi Germany didn't start just with people just waking up being Nazis and like, you know,
Right.
demonizing, you know, like throwing Jews into the concentration camps. It didn't start there. It started before that. It started with propaganda. It started with, you know, you had to kind of start urging people to make it okay to demonize your neighbor and to
Yes.
hate people for whatever differences it was. At that time, it was Jewish people. And, you know, that's where it started. And that's what made it so much easier for, you know, you're living in a house, and then, you know, the Nazis come, and your next door neighbor is getting hauled off that, you know, maybe years before you guys were all having dinner and having.
I did speak to a friend about this who is Jewish, whose grandparents were in the Holocaust, or at least her grandfather, I think she said. And she said she really didn't like what Gina said because it wasn't accurate. I don't know enough, sadly, about the Holocaust. I need to learn more, but apparently but she didn't think she should get fired, but she did say that she didn't really like what Gina had said about the Holocaust, which, you know, is fair, I guess. If I knew more about it, I could say if it was super fair or super not fair. But anyway, it's important to say that some people don't like it.
This wonderful
Yes.
relationship, and then it gradually happened. It just wasn't something that happened just like that. And
Right.
that was what the meme meant to me, was that I was trying to tell people now, like, don't demonize each other. Understand, you know, we're all human beings still, and you know, basically just bad things have happened in the past, and to learn from the past.
Yes.
And I thought that was something that everyone, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, that everybody could understand and get. I thought that was a tweet for everybody. And the Hollywood press
I
and every,
understand if she
you know, major news and
misunderstood.
media, that they came against me, and they said she compared Republicans to the Jewish Holocaust, and she's denigrating, you know, the Jewish community, and like.
Wait, so you came out against the Nazis, but they claimed you were pro-Nazis.
They smeared me as an anti-Semite, smeared me, and
Who
I was
was
like,
it,
wait,
Disney,
I
or was
still don't
it
get
like
how
who?
did you do
Who's
that?
they?
Right.
Who's they?
And why did people believe in it? But, you know, like,
Oh, I get it.
And then what Disney
So,
did was
by getting fired, they kind of
they put out a statement that said,
oh yeah, that's messed up.
we are no longer working with. There is a statement. We're no longer working with Gina Carano, and we basically think that she's denigrating people off of their cultural and religious beliefs. And they said something about me being abhorrent, and
For your anti-Nazi tweet.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah,
you
for
obviously
being
know this
frank.
since you worked in the business, but I mean, people who write about television and movies are directed to the word by the PR departments at the television and movie companies.
Right.
So there's no
Mhm.
independent press that writes about the movies or about television,
Right.
even cable news.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the big
Well,
cable news
Sharon
websites are all
Waxman at the
controlled by
Wrap,
the PR
probably
departments
Right.
that's it.
in Hollywood.
And that's really been, so I had my own, had hired my own publicist during, season 2 of The Mandalorian, and they were working with the publicists from the Disney people, and then they were working with the UTA, who dropped me immediately as
Oh,
well.
of course they do.
UTA, of course. Where is Sean at? Of course. This is gonna be funny. We gotta tweet this because everybody knows I hate UTA. Of course, UTA dropped Gina Carano because they freaking suck. Of course, of course, of course. My goodness gracious. Oh my gosh, that is wild. Do I have this picture on my phone? Okay, so UTA represents Taylor Lorenz too. So, and y'all know how I feel about her. We don't have to talk about her all the time, but we can just talk about her sometimes. You know what I mean? This is my stream. When I go on Tim Pool on the 24th or 25th or whatever, I won't talk about Taylor Lorenz. Like, unless he wants to talk about her, then he can talk about her. But last time I talked about her too much. So, you know. Is it sending? Why are you not sending? I think we need to tweet about this, but okay, wait. I'll start the stream so you guys can watch while I'm about to, you know how I like to start stuff on the internet. This is me nowadays. I'm just a big internet troll. No, I'm not really, actually. I try to be nice. People are rude to me though. They brigade my Amazon page. Allegedly. Oh, whoops. Oh shit. I accidentally sent it to her. Okay, wait. Okay, my bad. All right. Sorry, I just need to send that. Okay, I lost like the where is the stream? Where is the Rumble stream? Oh no, I lost the window. I'm getting used to this. Someday I'll get used to this. Okay, here we go. My bad. Let's keep watching.
And then
Your agent who's there fighting for you.
yeah, all of them. I mean, and then
Oh,
the entertainment lawyer dropped me.
Of course.
And that the funny thing is, like, the entertainment lawyer, I think, was they would constantly be sending out, hey, we're having this Democrat, at my house, come on over for, raise some funds for the Democrat, party, or whoever the candidate was that they were, and so all of these people just dropped me immediately. And I was like,
people you'd been paying to stand by your side in case there was a big problem.
Yeah.
The second there was a big problem, they fled and denounced you.
Yes, immediately.
May they all rot.
and I was just like, okay, that's so much, I mean, I knew that like maybe something could happen where Disney might be like, hey, as professionals, I thought maybe they'd just be like, okay, well, maybe we're going to not work with you, or maybe something like that could happen by speaking out about the things that I spoke out about. But I found the things that I spoke out about were so much more important than the career part, because I felt like, we need to be talking about, we're headed in a really bad direction.
Oh, yes.
The lockdowns, the mask mandates, the vaccines, I felt like we needed to, I never even said who I was really voting for. It was just, I was getting really pushed into this, like, you're an extremist, you're an alt-right extremist, and so I thought maybe that could be an option, but never in my wildest dreams would I thought that they would have, through Twitter or through a publication, without even calling me. This is how I found out I was fired. Online, on Twitter. Like, they didn't call me. They didn't say, we're letting you go.
That's so wild.
We're no longer going to work together. This is why. It was just, she's denigrating people off of cultural and religious beliefs, and she's abhorrent. And I was like,
for coming out against the Nazis.
yeah.
Okay.
So backwards.
Yeah. But again, that when you get attacked in the Hollywood trade press, that's because the company you worked for directed those reporters to.
Right. And I'm learning that more and more. So now,
Yeah.
you know, when there's like a piece that somebody writes about me, I go and I look up the journalist, and then I go and look up what other, you know, what other, you know, articles has this journalist written.
Of course.
And you can almost just trace it back. And a couple, I traced right back to Lucasfilm. And I was like, you know, right there, you guys, you know, you call up your people and
wow.
you know, it's ugly.
It's the most
ugly.
dishonest thing ever.
Yeah, and
a reporter at the Hollywood Reporter or wherever.
Yeah, and it's all involved, right? It's the agencies, it's the managers, it's the publicists, it's the studios, and it's just this big mafioso that does not give the independent artist unless they're willing to comply and fit in 100% into that ideologies and their narratives and be basically these manufactured robots, you know. I mean, I feel like there's the 1% of Hollywood that can do what they want and say and think what they want, and those are the very, very talented people. But at the peak of my career, it was like, you know, I think they thought, let's make an example out of this one.
For sure.
She's an action actress, you know, she hasn't done, you know, drama yet, she hasn't gotten there. We'll make an example out of her. And it had the complete opposite effect, which was just overwhelming support.
Really? Like, I do remember, I don't know if I had been canceled yet, but I was just trying to pay attention to anybody else that was getting canceled. And I'm like, you're getting canceled. Like, be part of the cancel club. Oh, I know. Oh, I love the Tucker laugh. It's just, it is so good. It's like, I'm evil genius. I love Tucker too. Oh, do you guys remember when I was on Tucker? I'm not gonna make you guys watch the episode, but I was on Tucker. Holla at your girl. That's like my favorite, one of my like biggest claims to fame. I'm like, I was on Tucker when I met my boyfriend's family. My boyfriend's anyway, so one of my boyfriend's family is like a big Trumper. Maybe a couple people in this family are big Trumpers. Actually, my mom is actually a big Trumper. She's Latina from Mexico. My dad doesn't even like Trump as much as my mom. My dad loves Reagan. He's like, can we bring Reagan back? Although my boyfriend's family member, he always has this koozie that says it says Reagan Bush 2020, whatever, not 2024, whatever the year that was. He always carries it around. Like, I joke with him. I'm like, you know, you could sell that for like $1,000. It's like it's a what is it called? I told him it's a collector's item now, and he should go on and sell it for $1,000 somewhere. He's like, I don't think anyone will buy it. I'm like, trust me, it's a collector's item. Anyway, Raylan, by the way, thanks for backing me up when I got report brigaded. Even though it's okay. I mean, I was going through it that day. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm like, no, they didn't. I mean, it got out, like the tweet I put up, got decent views. Did they fix your account, Raylan? Did you hit up the guy I told you, Ashley St. Clair's friend or whatever? Anyway. All right, let's go back to the show. I gotta like wrap this up because I'm so tired. I don't even know how you guys are here. Most of you are probably on the
funny.
East
Like
Coast.
as soon as they were at the peak of their stock market ever in February 2021, or no, yeah, in February 2021, and right when they fired me is when it started plummeting to what it is now. And you know, you're obviously very smart people and they're trying to salvage it, but people saw what was going on. In my case, it was very obvious.
Do you have friends who are still there?
Yeah, you know, everybody I worked physically with, I never had a problem with. And, you know, like, you know, me and Pedro, we connected after, you know, Carl Weathers passed away.
Yes.
And, you know, there's all these lies and all these weird stories that people make up in their heads. And, you know, one thing I can say is, you know, I adore Pedro. And he said one thing to me. He said, you and Carl.
Wait, they released your account from Shadowbound prison? Okay, but at least they did fix it. Okay, that's good. What did you have to do to get on Shadowban? Or you can tell me later, but
we're protectors.
That's good.
And that means so much to me that he remembers me and our time together as me being a protector. And it's important, like people don't know what the real story is. Like, why do you think Pedro is calling me a protector? To his fans, I there's a reason, and there's stories that you don't know that happened. And I was there, and I protect people. There was a person multiple times. That's just my nature. Is when there was a person who was wearing a mask on set, and they were at their end. They were overtime, and they were crying, and they were upset, and they couldn't do it anymore. They just couldn't. They were broken. There was a broken person in that mask, and nobody was
Wow.
saying anything. And I just simply went up to the director at the time and I said, this person's done. They're done. They need that. They need the contacts out. They need the thing off their head. They need to breathe. They're broken. And the director, and I was like, look, I worked longer hours than maybe probably any actor because my face was showing and I did all my own stunts. So if you go back and you look at like the work records, you're going to find who was on set the most as like the actors, and you're going to find me at the top of that list.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'll, get my coverage tonight. I know you guys wanted to do it, the next day. You can get my coverage tonight. You give this man a break, and I will, I'll stay later and, push my time.
Just talking
And
about,
I'll show up early, and don't worry about it. But I've done that on numerous sets, and that's because I do understand that, like, well, I come from a fighter's background, and I want it, and I wanted it so bad that I feel like if I can have the energy to push it, I can do it. And it crushes me when people are broken or hurting or being bullied.
Yes.
And which was my whole purpose of speaking out. In 2020 was just
the weakest got bullied the most, as always.
A lot of people that I was usually very introverted. I get really nervous for interviews, although that's getting better. I get nervous for public speaking.
I like her.
I get nervous for performing
because of that.
But when I'm passionate, when I mean something, that's when I can speak. And that's the only reason why I'm probably able to speak with you right now, is because I have a clear heart about what happened. I want the lawyers to look into it. I want the professionals to see what happened and how ludicrous and absurd it was. And I want things to change so that it doesn't happen to other people.
What's your next chapter?
Well, my next chapter is going to be
this lawsuit.
I'm going to make a movie. I'm going to produce and possibly direct it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it financed. I don't know how yet. But I'm going to make some art, and it's going to be truly inclusive. And I think that's going to be a gift. That's where my heart has been. I thought I was going to get that a couple years ago with the Daily Wire. I thought that was the path that was going to happen. But I think God's teaching me a lesson right now of how to do this, how to learn how to put this together, and how to attract the people that you want to work with. And I lost my team when I got canceled, so I didn't have anybody. And so the rebuilding of a life and everything has been my focus in the last 2 years. Well, I've rebuilt that now. And
I don't know.
There's still things that I need to, do. I need to rebuild my body, a lot of stress and not working and, depression and all of that. I need to focus on my health. That's at the top of my list. And I've been saying
I'm going to spam everybody
also to
on
get
LinkedIn.
creative. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's what I want to do is I want to direct and produce a movie and start being more in control of getting my stories out there that I like.
I think being in control is a good thing at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you'll come back when you do that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tucker.
It's just a great story. And I'm glad to see you thriving. Gina Carano, thank you.
Thank you.
Free speech is bigger than any one person or any one organization. Societies are.
All right. Well, nothing earth shaking there. And probably because she's being smart, she can't really talk about the lawsuit, about the legal aspects of it, which makes sense. Thank you. I hope you get your Amazon thing resolved. I know. I really, really pray. Please pray for me. Thanks for tuning in to my first Rumble stream. This is fun times. Yeah, I don't know. I think I got to figure out how to use my other studio with Rumble, but hey, this was kind of fun. First try. And by the way, so I've been advised to dump the elder millennial thing. So, I'm getting rid of the elder millennial show. I mean, it's gonna be called. I think I'm gonna keep. So I have the elder millennial. I think I have YouTube/elder millennial, and like I wanted to make that less about politics, X stuff, because my friends in real life, like they don't care about Twitter, you know. So maybe I'm gonna make that show more for like chicks. But my live streams, my I don't know, my shows on my YouTube channel. This is gonna be the Little Miss Jacob show. Little Miss Jacob, and on the show, y'all. Somebody said, "What up to you 10 other freaky voyeurs?" Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What's up to you 10 other freaky voyeurs? Actually, there's 21. Don't shake me like that. There's like 10 in YouTube. All right, guys. Oops. Why every time I try to like unpin something, it pins something else. Like why? Yeah, just be Little Miss Jacob. That's what I'm gonna do. Eric Hunley gave me that advice. I literally don't know. Because like people don't get it. People don't really get like the elder millennial thing. Although I did get it freaking trademarked. So yeah, cool. Cost me like $1,000 to do that. Anyways, hope you guys had a good time tonight. We've been streaming for an hour. Greetings from the Philippines. Holla Jamatrix Reloaded. I'll be back. I don't know what my streaming schedule is going to be. But you know, we're gonna ride the gravy train. And we'll be back. And I appreciate super chat, Raylan. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.